time it is!
Thank you for checking out the C-Squared Hour. I'm your host, Chris, giving you the last episode before the new year. Thank God 2020 is almost over. 2021 is going to be our year, right? Anyway, before I get too far into this, I want to go ahead and thank Barb and Dan for the beer recommendation. I am drinking, and this is the second time this brewery has been suggested to me, but I'm drinking Black Raven Trickster IPA. Black Raven is on the west side of Washington. It looks like Woodinville, Washington, but yeah, it's quite honestly, I'm very impressed with this beer. It's definitely I would say it's tasteful. It has a lot of taste without being too heavy, which is kind of perfect for me. So yeah, Black Raven Trickster IPA, definitely check it out, and thank you, Dan and Barb. All right, now I know my longtime listeners are going to be wondering where the other Chris is, and it's kind of a sad story. He was driving up north, kind of in this wooded area, not really like a dirt road, not really a back road, but not quite, a highway or anything like that. Just driving along there, just you never know what streetlights have cameras on them nowadays, so he's trying to avoid that. Anyway, he got a flat tire in this wooded area, and as he was he had a spare, he was being responsible, so that was good. But as he was doing that, these two ladies came up to offer to help him. And now when I say ladies, depending on what you're thinking of, if you're thinking of this stuff, no, what I'm talking about is like a backwoods hardened ladies, like they ain't fucking around kind of ladies, the ones that chop their own wood kind of thing and live off the land and probably have killed an animal with their bare hands. Don't make a habit of it, but probably have. Anyway, so he runs across them and they show up to they offer to help, and he's almost done with it, and that's when they tie him up and throw him in his own trunk. And unfortunately, driving the car that he does, basically an SUV, he hears everything going on. So like he's in the back, but there's no separation. So they took him to this cabin, I guess, right near a creek. I don't, if you ever watched Deadwood, think of the house the main guy built, just outside of town, right past the creek. Think about that place. Nice place for where it is. But so last I heard from him, he was there. So honestly, yeah, where he is, even the GPS can't be picked up. So I know I've looked into looking at his, trying to look up his phone location, and it just didn't happen. So anyway, if anyone who is anywhere near the Canadian border happens to see what comes down to a log cabin, if you will, with two Subaru Foresters and a Geo Metro outside of the house, definitely A, let me know, and B, let the authorities know. So, all right, I mentioned the beer. I'm not going to give my usual, it's been 2 fucking weeks. I'm not going to give my usual too late analysis because something more important came up. And as I was doing a little self-reflecting, I like the typical fruit I am, I decided to go on a little walk through my neighborhood and enjoy the sights and all the snow. Everyone happy with that? Thought came into my mind, and I wanted to give it out to you people. I don't mean you people, I just mean people who listen to this. I wanted to get your opinion on this. Is it too late for me to become a juggalo? this whole pandemic thing and this lockdown thing, not necessarily lockdown thing, but not going out and hanging out with as many people as I used to, I'm starting to kind of realize, maybe I've outgrown some of my friends, and maybe I don't know, maybe some of my other friends have outgrown me. So, I'm possibly looking for a new group, when the pandemic ends and all that. And honestly, I think I've always been a juggalo at heart. I mean, deep down, again, it comes to, I explain the show as back of the bar conversation, and I always say, I'm that guy, but with a little self-awareness. I think that's the same thing. I think I've always been kind of a juggalo with A, better music taste, and B, a little self-awareness. So a few questions before, there's a few questions I have to ask myself. And that's what I'm asking you, like, how important is listening to their music? Is that a deal breaker? Because I went through YouTube and I think there was about 4 songs I could tolerate. And the rest I had no fucking idea what was going on. So that's one of the questions. B, actually, you know what? That's the main question. That's the only thing that's turning me off from really doing it. I don't mind face paint. I've never been one to shy away from malt liquor. So really all I'm missing out of, becoming a juggalo, like my boy Superhuman, becoming a juggalo is I need a trailer. I need malt liquor. I need to know where to get meth. Not necessarily to use it, on a regular basis, but I need to know where to get it. And in the trailer park I live in, I need to sexually harass the other residents. Now, I could bring myself to sexually harass some of my neighbors if I wanted to, if I really wanted to. If it meant, me being accepted in my neighborhood, I absolutely would do it. So if I have to do that, I'll get to it. And, trailer park, whatever it is. Malt liquor, I've had my time with malt liquor, Old English, HG 800, I think it was, used to be my shit. Now, it's 41 ounces, not 40. They add 1 extra ounce for us. God damn, Old English taking care of us. The meth thing, I'm not sure, but yeah, is ICP music a prerequisite for being a juggalo? Do I have to listen to it constantly, or can I still throw on some Matchbox 20 when I'm in the shower or something? I have a pretty cool Allman Brothers mix. Can that go on, or is it like ICP and Twisted, and that's where I'm at? So anyone who is a juggalo or juggalette, please hit me up and let me know how that goes, because it's been bugging me for a few days now. Anyone who follows me on Twitter saw when I finally just said, you know what, I got to put my pride away, and I got to finally ask. They saw that moment. So anyway, thanks in advance for letting me know what's going on, and I will really take what you say to heart. So it is highly appreciated. Let's see. Did everyone have a great Christmas? I was pausing to let you guys think about that. Mine was pretty good. I spent the entire Christmas watching on FS2 a marathon of roller games, which was where they took this 89, 90, somewhere in that area. They took roller derby, predetermined the outcome, added a couple new rules, threw in an alligator pit, and tried to turn it into pro wrestling. Which, going back to when I was 3 years old, I love the show. I mean, Christ, you have a fucking alligator pit in the middle of a roller derby rink. And it got me to thinking, how is there not more of that? A streaming channel for the stupid shit people used to watch. The roller derby with that, or there was a lot of slam ball. with all the dumbass shit with all the stupid TV things, all the things that are on there, why is there not something like that? We want some mindless nonsense, but if you're intelligent, you can't find it. Yeah, you watch wrestling, the mindless nonsense, and if you're intelligent, you enjoy it, as I do. Shout out Kenny for the WWE Network. But where else do you turn for shit like that? They cancel MXC. They can't keep that going. With all the channels out there, with all the stupid fucking things out there, with all the dumbass content, why is there not more of that? Is it just me who wants to see that shit, or do not enough people want to see that? Because quite honestly, it really just warmed my heart. Wondering if he was going to be allowed in the Hall of Fame while he was still skating, and if the twin ladies were going to still be allowed on the patriotic team, or were they going to have to get split up, wondering that going week to week, and then in between that, a display of athletic ability that really has not been seen since. I don't know where you go wrong with that. And I'm sorry for saying the word content. It might just be me, but I am so tired of hearing people talk about content or putting out more content, or you hear radio shows, you hear people on YouTube, yes, that's what it's called. I know that. I'm not dumb. I know that's exactly what I'm doing there, but can we stop saying content? Can we think of something better, like invent an own fucking word? Content, it just bugs me. I don't know why it does, but that's the thing. I talk about this, the roller games, marathons and shit like that. It's an easy way to kind of judge where someone sits in society. Like if you look at professional wrestling, this was basically in the same vein. This was looking to be the same thing, kind of, or go after the same market, so to speak. There's the people who watch it in all seriousness, who follow it like it's a daytime procedural. There's the people who absolutely hate it, who, quite honestly, if you're going to hate something that bad or be that against something, I probably don't want to hang out with you too much because you don't have a sense of humor. And then there's people like me who are, I would say, moderately to highly intelligent and really enjoy it for, what it is, a dumbass story with people doing some crazy shit every now and again. People wonder why we end up with two fucking candidates we hate. And, we're stuck with these ones that, how did this guy win? How did this guy win? How did we end up with these? I'll tell you why. We have 3 Masked Singer shows, and The Bachelor and Dancing with the Stars are still on. That's why we get what we get in elections. 3 Masked Singer shows, Dancing with the Stars, and The Bachelor. Nothing against The Bachelor. By all means, it was a great idea, but the fact that it's still going, the fact that people are still, Jesus Christ. But you want to know why your vote doesn't count and why? Because fantastic things where people pretend to get hurt and actually sometimes do get hurt, even though they don't, and fake storylines and all that sort of thing are thrown behind because we have to watch fucking celebrities go out there and prance around and have fucking a bunch of C-list celebrities say, "Oh my god, I wonder who it is. Let's get some hints." And then you have the fake audience pretending to... Yeah, you want to know why our elections are so fucked up? It's because the electorate is watching that shit. Not necessarily watching it. And I'm not gonna put it on, or all on the networks. I'm not gonna put it all in saying it's all their fault. Because they give them what the people want. And, if people are going to watch that shit, fuck it. Just force feed it down their throat like they always do. And if people are going to do that, hey, let them, I guess. They're a company. They got to make some money. if you want to know what's going on with elections and the electorate, just look at what is being forced down people's throat. Maybe not forced down throat. Look at what people are wanting forced down their throat. All right, that's what you're getting. You're getting the number one show being The Masked Singer. And that's why you're ending up with Biden versus Trump for president. Don't say this is a mystery anymore. Don't say that. Just remember that those are the number one shows, and they keep making more of them, and they stay on the air because obviously enough people are watching them. So, there you go. That is why your elections get fucked up. I don't know where I started with that, but that's where I wanted to end it. Because, honestly, if you are going to watch that on a regular basis, you deserve Biden or Trump in the White House. Shout out Stacey. All right, real quick before I go into my next real point. See, this is what you're going to get in this episode is kind of more what I was expecting. The last few, I kind of came in and I stuck to two or three main topics, and it, flowed perfectly. Today, guess what you're getting? I have probably written down about 10 different fucking things. All of them having nothing to do with each other. But these are just what bugged me during the week. And maybe it's the holidays. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that we got snow and not a big fan of snow. But yeah, I got 10 fucking things on here. But today, I finally got annoyed with the mask thing. I know I've been telling you all that I don't care, and it's not bugging me, and it's not, and I'm telling you, if it bothers you, to get a life, get a hobby, figure out why. Finally bugged me today, and here's why. I got about 3 blocks away from my house before realizing I didn't have a mask in my car. Now, of course, me being the responsible gentleman I am, or basically not wanting to be, quote-unquote, that guy, which, if you've listened, that's basically my goal in life, to not be that guy. If I'm able to be that guy behind a microphone and behind a computer, then, by all means, it's not fucking up your grocery store trip, but my goal is to not be that guy. So, I turn around, and I'm just so fucking annoyed. And here's why. Because this entire fucking thing, this 8 months of the whole mask mandate and all that, regardless of what I think, regardless of me thinking whether it's corporations not wanting us to be, basically wanting us to not have personal connection anymore. So if you can't, see if someone's smiling, you can't see if they're telling a joke or being sarcastic, those things like that. You can't see if someone's angry. They're trying to take away that. My opinion. Just my opinion. Again, not sure if the mask will work. I've been all about it. I've been like, fuck it, fine. No skin off my ass. The one day I forget, I shouldn't have to turn around and go back to my house. I should have, some sort of card. And then you get to the microchipping thing, which, everyone's going to go on. I know this is a slippery slope to, hey, QAnon. This is a slippery slope to tracking microchips. I know. Keep listening. Keep being my fans. Because I'll defend you as long as you're listening. I didn't say agree. I said defend. But I should be able to apply for a card that says, hey, look, every time I've gone out in public, I've worn this mask. I've walked halfway to the store, realized I forgot it, walked back to the car with nary a negative word to say. The one day I forget it and am literally going to need it for about 7 minutes, I think I should be able to not use it for the one errand trip I go on. Because 7 minutes was like was the total I was going to be inside in stores and things like that. I had go to the mailbox and things like that. Shit, I didn't have to get out of my car. Really, 2 stops with minimal human interaction. I should have been able to say, hey, look, I forgot it. Look at me. I've always been a mask guy, so this is just going to be real quick. I'm sorry. Don't Karen me. Don't throw me up on the internet, whatever. But I couldn't. And that's what finally annoyed me about the mask thing. Finally annoyed by it. I don't give a shit that business, obviously, I think we're past the government regulating it. I think it should be up to businesses and up to people and all that stuff. It should be personal choice and business choice. We can get to that. I know we're all finally over it. I'm finally to that, not finally to that point. I've been to that point for fucking months. But I was officially annoyed today, and that's why. Maybe I just want special treatment once in a while. Maybe that's all it comes down to. Maybe I just wanted to feel special. Like, hey, I'm walking in here without a mask. But you know what? I'm a good guy because I haven't done this yet. The only time I really felt like a douche is I was at a Native American casino and I was playing blackjack and they wanted you to wear a mask at the tables. Well, I forgot my mask's in my pocket, and the pit boss comes up to me all nervous. Hey, excuse me, sir, could you put it? I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. Sorry, man. I don't give a fuck, but if I forget, someone who doesn't give a fuck, someone who's worn it consistently for this entire time, if that someone forgets it one time, that's another thing. I was going to places that I frequent. They know me at these places. Well, they don't know me. They would recognize me at these places. They're like, oh shit, you're not wearing a mask. It wouldn't be like, put your mask on. Yeah, sorry, bud, I forgot it. So, finally got annoyed by the mask thing. Again, it's a slight inconvenience wearing a mask. Maybe it's helping, maybe it's not. I'm not going to get into that pissy match argument because, honestly, it's not as much fun arguing with myself about stuff like that, or theoretically arguing with people about it. I would need an anti-masker across from me to basically to make it fun, really. So I'm not going to make that argument. But like I said, the mask thing, the reason the government is so excited about it is because it's ending another form of person-to-person communication. Facial expressions is a way I can make I can make a joke right now. I could say, "Hey, your mom's ugly." Now that sounded pretty fucking harsh. But if you saw my facial expression, you would know whether or not it was serious or I was just trying to be a cunt. But you don't get that anymore with the mask. I understand that. But I just want something. I mean, give me something for wearing it. Just let me forget it once in a while. Please. If I forget it tomorrow when I go to the store, let me shop. It's the only time I fucking did it. Not only am I finally annoyed with the mask thing, I'm kind of annoyed with myself. Anyway, hopefully this is the last time I'm going to talk about this, because I have beaten this broad like I'm Ray Rice riding in the elevator with her, but Sarah Fuller's uniform is going into the College Football Hall of Fame or something along those lines. Now, if you've listened before, you know my opinion on that whole thing about her being a kicker and all that. Here's the thing. I think they should put her uniform in the Hall of Fame. It's the first time something happened. It's historic. She's the first of... Of course it should go into the Hall of Fame. It has to be recognized. just because I think the entire process was dumb. I think it was pandering. I think it was very transparent. Just because I think all those things about what that whole thing was, that brave kickoff, and look at her making an extra point, the first one, and her family hugging and shit like that. Just because I think all that doesn't mean that now that it's over, I don't think, it should go in the Hall of Fame. It should be there, and it's going to say, this was the first broad to, do something in a Power 5 game. And there's not going to be any video to accompany it because, going forward, people are going to say, oh shit, that's all she did. Because there's going to be other broads in the future that are going to be good enough to actually contribute at that level. So we're going to look back and say, that's all she fucking did? And that was 2020? And that's all she could pull off? Christ, in 2020, these broads could do this, 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 this. So, of course, there's not going to be video next to it. But, yeah, it should go in the Hall of Fame. It was a landmark moment, regardless of how overblown the moment I thought it was. You hear that? Hear that, squareheads? That's me flipping. That's me blowing your mind. You didn't see me going there, did ya? Hey, listen. Keep listening. You're going to hear more like that. All 7 of you, or how many fucking people are listening to this. I know there's not that many on YouTube yet, but whatever. There's no video with it, so, fuck it. There's more. I digress. Anyway. Yeah, so, a Vandy uniform. I agree, it should be there. Yep. Yeah. Full of surprises. Alright. They announced, I thought it was funny, I'm reading the ticker right now. They announced that Dubai is going to be giving free vaccines to all of its citizens and what have you, and they're making it like it's a big fucking deal, and like, oh great, look at how much they're... Well, we're fucking paying for it. Of course they're doing it, because it's still coming out of their fucking pocket. We're paying them what? Fucking $36 billion a month or some shit like that for everything they're sending over to us. And it's not like they do a whole lot for their citizens. Allegedly from reports. So yeah, okay, they pay for vaccines for everybody, but no, we paid for their vaccines for everybody. So why is that a big deal? And these liberal news sites, I'm sorry, God, I sound like such a cunt when I say that. These liberal news sites or these conservative news sites, I sound like such a cunt saying that, and I apologize. I just want you to know, I think all major news sites are very partisan. And I even go down the line to Huffington Post, to Breitbart. I go down even to that level. I know they are very, very partisan. All right. Going back to that. Liberal news sites are saying, look at how amazing this country is. This is so progressive that they're doing it. No, they're doing it for free. It's free to them. They say, oh, look, we're getting all these vaccines. Shit, it's less than America gives us. Fuck it, why not? Look good, make people feel good, and then the next broad who drives a car and we could beat her is like, well, at least you got a vaccine. So before more people see that and start trying to champion it, see, this is what a country should do. This is what a government should do. They're doing it with our fucking money. All right? If we stopped depending, I don't know if depending is the right word. If we stopped, well, depending is not the right word, but if we stop sending a shitload of money to them for products that we use, but we don't have to use anymore, but we still do because people are making too much money and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, we could afford to pay for all the vaccines. I mean, Dubai just proved that you can with the amount of money that we're giving them. So it's not a big socialist or big government endorsement, or it's not showing that this is what a real government should do. No, it's saying, guess what? You paid for this, we're just going to do it. Guess what? If that's how it happened here in the US, we would have to pay extra for it. So not only would we have to pay for their vaccinations, we'd have to pay for ours. So every vaccination you're paying for 2. 8 for 2. I know I'm going to get... Yes, I know it's not that simple, you cocksuckers. I know. There's more to it, and it's more nuanced, and it's more yada yada. I know. It's not the goddamn point. The point is, you look at how much money we're sending them. I would be willing to bet, and again, this comes with no research at all. I'm saying this with absolutely no research. So if I'm proven to be wrong, I'm wrong. And you have to remember, also drunk. So if I'm proven to be wrong, I'm okay with that. But if you look at the cost to vaccinate every citizen in Dubai, and then you look at how much money we are sending them for, whatever trade, or let's look at the deficit, how much we're sending them based on how much we're getting back. Not just what we're sending them. Let's look at that. Let's look at the deficit there. I would guarantee you the cost to vaccinate every one of their citizens is a lot fucking less than the deficit between us and them. So don't put this as a socialist market. It's the government running as capitalists and saying, hey, look, we can make our quote unquote employees happy with this small investment. So we're doing that. Quick question. Are all uniforms Jordan now? I know they were Nike / Jordan for a while, but I'm watching my first NBA game of the year. Not enjoying it too much, but it is what it is. Alright, that was my rant on that. Again, how many points have I covered? At least 3. I got the vaccines, I got cerebral, I got the juggalo thing. I am killing it for you. The last episode you get before the year turns over, before New Year's resolution, is everyone gonna be making a New Year's resolution? I told you what my New Year's resolution is. Figure out if I should become a juggalo or not. So there's mine. And guess what? If you assholes do your job, I'll be able to figure out the answer to my New Year's resolution before the clock strikes midnight. Up to you. Up to you. My life is in your hands. Here's what's annoying me real quick about the NBA. The Phoenix Suns are basically wearing the blue jersey that New Orleans has had. So I'm watching Phoenix do this, but I'm not sure if it's New Orleans. They're wearing red. I don't know. I don't watch the NBA enough. I'll admit to that. I just threw it on the background to have it there. It's less distracting than court TV, where I look at the stupid ass headlines and say, oh, let me figure out what the crime is. No, I need to do that on my own time. Throw on court TV on mute and just make up my own crimes based on what's going on at the bottom. So, speaking of basketball, I just saw Gonzaga. Another big win. Best team in the nation, right? They beat Dixie State. Who? Don't know. I know that's the last time this is the first and only time I'm going to talk about this fucking school, so didn't look into them that much, but can we stop calling... Look, I know I sound like I don't know what I'm in Eastern Washington. I should be sucking the Gonzaga dick dry, and I'm not. And I sound like I'm just doing this to go the other way, but I'm not, alright? I want Gonzaga to be... I want them to be the quote-unquote powerhouse that they call themselves and that they think they are. And because I think it's great. It's great for the area. It's great for sports to have a small school, small private school being that. And great. I would love for that to happen. The problem is they're never going to do that if the fan base is okay with beating Dixie State by 60 and then losing in the Sweet 16. The fact that Gonzaga's gone to one Final Four and we're supposed to call them a powerhouse, while Wichita State has been to just as many. Wait, have they been to one more? They might have been to one more. No one calls them a powerhouse. They're tied with Butler. No one calls Butler a powerhouse. Stop. What we need to do, and this is for my Eastern Washington people. We need to stop blindly following them like they are fucking UCLA in the 70s. Alright? We need to realize that for how high they've been ranked in preseason polls, in tournament polls, in all this, they have not performed up to the rankings that they've been given. If you look at all the rankings they've had, if you look at everything they've been doing, oh, but look at their mid-major. Well, they're not getting treated like a fucking mid-major by the committee, by all this shit. They're not getting treated like it. As a fan base, you need to stop blindly throwing on your Bulldog hat and saying, look at how great this team is. With how high they get ranked year after year after year after year, there's no goddamn reason, if they were this great of a powerhouse that you say they are, no reason only one Final Four should have happened. But congratulations on your win by 60 over Dixie or Dixon or whatever the fuck it is state. Oh, but they're the best team in the country right now. Yeah, they're always the best team in fucking December. I can't remember the last time they weren't a championship caliber team in December. You know what? The year we went down to Portland was the only year that GU made the finals. Not the C Square trip to Portland. Randy and I going down for Red Hot Chili Peppers concert. Not nearly as fun, or not nearly as eventful, but just as fun. So anyway, Gonzaga fan, you have to stop accepting mediocrity if you want more than what you're getting. All right? It's just, I want to enjoy having, a real thing up in the, it's either 12th baggers or Gonzaga, and I'd much prefer to deal with Gonzaga, but we can't blindly suck their dick and expect anything to get better. Alright, we'll wind it up. Oh, by the way, that dumbass metal pillar that ended up in like 6 different places in the world. Anyone figured out what it is yet? Do we care anymore, or has that gotten replaced with the guy getting hit in the face with a twisted T? I thought that was a big mystery we were all trying to figure out, and if it's been figured out, I didn't see it. Granted, I only look at the very top level of social media. I don't go way down deep into it, because quite honestly, I'm not sure if I'd ever fucking get out. That's another thing. Any of you QAnon people, if you could send me some of your shit, it'd be really appreciated. I would really appreciate it. Just for the fact that if I watched it, I don't know if I could get out of it. You know, you go down the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland. I think I would keep digging. I think I would get stuck in my unbirthday and never find my way up to land. So, yeah, all that stuff. But that dumbass metal thing, figured it out yet? Anyone know what it is? I'm going to look it up after the show. Never talk about it again, so. Yeah, the metal thing in the desert. Anyone. Now, I just watched this movie again for probably the first time in about 15 years. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Wasn't that metal thing the exact same fucking thing all the gorillas were standing around at the beginning of it? Was it somebody or some company or some group just trying to fuck with people? Hey, this was a good movie. I thought I was going to have a lot more to go on that, and I just kind of ran out of gas. But, hey, I may have ran out of gas, but I'm still on the tracks. Unlike the last episode, right? Before I go, I want to know, I haven't talked to many people in Hollywood, if any, really. I haven't really talked to any people in acting business or anything along those lines. I have a pretty big question. And this came from, I'm rewatching Game of Thrones and The Wire, just whichever one I'm in the mood for at the time. I have the remote in my hand. What's the protocol of getting a hard-on a movie set? I'm watching this scene in Game of Thrones, and this guy has fucking 4 naked broads sitting around him, and they're fiddling around with each other. Obviously for the camera, they're not going, they're not going knuckles deep or anything, but, it's just, are you allowed to, get a hard on at that moment? Not being a creep or anything, but you just look over and there's another broad, fondling a broad's nipples. It's like, well, shit, yeah, I'm supposed to look at that. Is it accepted? Is there something you say afterwards? Like, hey, look at this. Good acting, hon. I don't know what all I'm saying is if I get partially chubbed up just kind of watching it, I can only imagine if I was in the room watching it. I mean, I know that's the point, to get you all chubbed up and whatnot, but what's now, is it an insult if you don't get a hard on? If a guy's just sitting there and you're fiddling around with, him and another broad at the same time, and they say cut, and you look over, he's limper than a stroke victim's left arm. Is that an insult? Or is he a very good actor? Or not even good, but just a method actor? No, if he's a method actor, he'd have to have a raging hard on, right? Right? I don't know how it works. I just want to know, like, I don't know where manners and what you're dealing with. I would like to know anyone with any sort of Hollywood experience who would like to let me know what goes on with that, because that's interesting. That's just, I was watching it, and there's this guy surrounded by 5 different broads, and I was just thinking, they leave and another guy comes to talk. Like, if he has a hard on, like, is that a big deal? Is that flattering? Is that insulting? And I'm not trying to be a misogynist when I say this. I'm trying to know what's going on. You're sitting there with fucking 8 naked broads. Do you get chubbed up? If you do, are you an asshole? Or if you don't, are you an asshole? I don't know. I had a bunch of other things on here, and I don't know why that just it struck me this time. I've seen a lot of shit with naked broads, and, I've been 12 before and saw softcore pornography. I don't know why it just hit me this time. What's the protocol if you get a hard on in a scene like that? What's the protocol? Like, what do you do? they say cut and you're sitting there with a heart on. You're like, are you supposed to not make eye contact? Are you supposed to go straight to craft services and, just get a coffee and ignore everyone on there? Or, they say, hey, good acting, hon. Congratulations. Look at how hot this scene was. The audience is going to love this. Do you have to avoid eye contact? Do you have to, I don't know, do you have to buy them a drink after shooting? I would like to know what the women's point of view is, or woman's point of view is on that. Like, do women actresses get insulted if they're nude or they're doing a sex scene for a movie? Do they get insulted if a guy gets a hard on? Or do they get insulted if a guy doesn't? There's just a lot of moving parts there, and it shouldn't be as big of a deal as I'm trying to make it, I guess. Or it shouldn't be this big of a question, probably, but it struck me, and I don't know why, but I would love to know the answer. So anyone involved in Hollywood who knows that, just let me know. What's the... I mean, they did a thing on Entourage about it with Brooke Shields, but that was just that was a hug and everything like that. So when it comes to sex scenes, how are hard-ons viewed? Anyone knows the answer, hit me up on that. Also, anyone who knows what that fucking dumbass metal thing was that they thought was a Jeep advertisement was, let me know. I'm going to try to look at it. And the big thing I want to know after this episode is, should I seriously consider becoming a juggalo? It's a very important thing. I may have a lifestyle change. I may have to pawn this computer for more face makeup. I may have to sell a house to get a trailer. Let me know. It's going to be a long process to become a true juggalo. If you think I should, I will. Absolutely will. I'm one of those. I'm a 0 or 100% kind of guy. There's no 30%. I will not become a 30% juggalo. If you want me to, I'm going all the way. Going all the way. If you think I should, quite honestly, I think deep down, I've always been one. But again, self-awareness. They don't seem to have that. All right, well, that's my show for the week. Thank you all for joining me. I'm going to get a little bit serious, and I did 3 episodes in November, and after the 3 I did in December, I noticed that I had doubled my downloads or listeners or whatever. So I want to thank you all for sharing, for liking, for whatever you're doing to get more listeners there. Like I said, double that. If I double every month for the next 10 years, I think everyone on Earth would be listening. So that's a pretty good number, right? And honestly, who wouldn't enjoy this? No, but thank you, and keep sharing this around. Keep sending me your beer recommendations. Again, Barb and Dan recommended the Trickster IPA from Black Raven. I've drank Black Raven a couple times on the show, and I have not found a beer from them I didn't like. So, the Trickster IPA, I would definitely recommend it. I got it in a 6-pack, so it should be available anywhere in the Northwest. But if not, hit them up, and I'm sure they can figure out something for you. All right, so Trickster IPA. Yeah, I want to thank again all my listeners. Look at that! I only said squareheads once, and didn't even make a fucking thing out of it. So if you cocksuckers like that, you got to keep it going, because I'm done. I tried. I spent 4 episodes trying it. It's up to you. All right. Again, thanks for checking this out. Thank you, everybody. You're obviously sharing this around, and I appreciate that. And if you could, tell the people you share it with to share it. I'm going to keep jumping on this anymore. And if there's I guess there's nothing else. So I will see you all. I'll see you all next year. No, I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.